welcome back to another episode of As the Wheel Turns. So happy Litha, summer solstice, or midsummer. We are here coming to you today. The Soul Sisters are celebrating at a yoga festival in Fremont here at Lady of the Pines. And so this is one of the things that we're doing to celebrate the holiday. We are presenting making flower crowns. So Laura, go ahead and show them our food. Back to you guys.
And Miss Kaylee over there, she's our
Kaylee
flower maker.
And so flower crowns are an important symbol of this holiday because it is a way for us to connect with nature. It is a symbol of beauty and fertility, and most importantly, it reminds us to be sovereign and to be the queens in our own life and to wear these crowns. So we get to share that today with people who came to learn about yoga and some other things and signed up to make flower crowns with us today. So we're super excited about that. So, yep. Happy Litha, and you'll see a few more little shorts coming through on what we're doing out here today. All right, welcome back to As the Wheel Turns, and once again, happy summer solstice. I'm here with a few ladies at our yoga event, and we're asking people today, how do you keep your vibe high in these times today with all that's going on in the world? So I'll let them chime in.
Well, we talked about yoga just a second ago, and that's really important for me.
Yes. Going at
yoga.
least once or twice a week to a studio and trying to do some on our own too.
Yeah, and it's the physical part, and then also the connections that
With the
really
friends.
important.
Oh,
Yes.
Being with kindred souls, being
Yes.
with kindred spirits
Absolutely.
is helpful.
Yeah.
And probably, does it kind of keep you centered
Oh,
by
yeah.
doing
Totally.
that?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the time, the one yoga studio we go to, we sit and talk ahead of time.
We come
and
early to
afterwards.
talk to
Okay.
each other.
So
Yeah.
it's more about it's just as much about community as it is, the vibe of the individual, that when you're doing your yoga, that you're also connecting with the divine within yourself. It's also about having that sisterhood.
Absolutely.
So
Or brotherhood.
Yes.
brotherhood. This is true.
we
We
do
can't.
have a man
We
in
don't
our
have to.
class.
We don't
My
have to
husband.
ever have to put gender on
Yeah,
it.
for
Yeah.
sure. We have
So-
like minds, and it's relaxing, and it's something that we were talking earlier that if somebody says, well, let's get together on Thursday night for supper, we're like, no, we've got yoga. We can't do that.
Oh, awesome! So,
So-
it's very disciplined in your practice,
Oh,
and
yes.
that has to come first to
Yeah.
keep your own sanity, right?
And I would say that another thing for me is walking, being in the woods especially. And I've just started to get into, my physical therapist for my shoulder told me to check out grounding.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Wah, that sounds crazy." But I've been like weeding in bare feet, and I think it's helping me.
Yeah,
So,
get your feet in the ground, in the grass. And another thing that we recommend for people too is you can get grounding sheets for your bed, and also you could get a cat litter box and put some soil in it and just stand in it, and, like in the wintertime when you're at home. But I like to hear you say walking, because that's one for me. For me, I go walking to meditate. That's why I meditate. I need to be moving, and so I like hearing that because I can vibe with you on that, and also the forest too.
Oh man, the
So,
woods. Yeah, I feel like I just drink that in.
Yeah, I walk. I try to walk a mile and a half, 2 miles every day. And I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something that, well, I have a dog and she has to walk,
Right.
but it helps her. And I said, walking to me, and yoga the same way, is like I take some medications. Well, it's medication to me.
Oh, absolutely.
It is something that I put into my routine, like the walking I have to do every day. It's like taking a thyroid pill.
Yes.
I have to do it every day. So
That's awesome. So you ladies have some really great ideas on how to keep your vibe high, and I thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay.
Love you.
So our wheel of the year is it's shaped like a wheel, of course, because it's cyclical. It's a circle. We also the things that we work with the moon, we work with the sun. They're also in a circle. Witches like to sit in circle because, like we talked about at the drum circle, everyone is equal. No one is more important than the other person. So the circle is a big thing. So these holidays fall along the wheel, and the wheel is always spinning and always turning. run every 6 weeks. So we just had, yesterday was summer solstice. We call it Litha. You can call it Litha. You can call it midsummer. We just had that yesterday, so now the wheel is still continually spinning, and our next holiday will fall on August 1st. So every 6 weeks, a new holiday. We don't just do the things on the day. We do the things within the 6 weeks. So it really never stops. Our wheel is always spinning, and we're doing things that cross from one holiday to the other. I know my altar at home, it still has a little bit of Beltane on it, but now it's got all the new, midsummer things mixed in as well. So, for me, it grounds me, it centers me, because I follow that. It's all about nature, and back in the day, the ancient pagans were, they were living off the land, and so this is why, it's so important. All of them are very much based on kind of farming, but we like to apply it to. So we start in February with Imbolc, and we start as a way to start planning and planning out your garden, your real garden. Start maybe thinking about planning what you might want to grow indoors to start with, but also the seeds of our life. So we're looking at what seeds are we going to sow in our life for the next year. That's how we look at it. So that's how we apply it. Those agricultural terms, we turn it over to seeds of our life. Seeds are ideas and things that we want to birth and grow. So we just had midsummer. The next one coming is going to be on August 1st. It's going to be Lunasa. That's the first. There's 3 harvest holidays. It's the first harvest holiday, and that is our bread baking holiday. We like that when we get to bake bread and bring it together. You want to take the local things out of your garden that's now you can harvest and bring and eat. We do a little picnic, but we're also looking at the seeds that we planted in our life back starting out in February. Now in our life they should be coming to fruition. It's the first harvest holiday. What is now happening because we took action on it? And so this is a time, midsummer is a time to actually also start taking action on the things we've been planting. Because if you don't take action, they're not going to come to fruition. So they all follow a series of, every 6 weeks, and it progresses, it progresses, it progresses. We end our year with the holiday called Samhain, which people think is Halloween, but it's not Halloween. It's actually more of a somber holiday, because we're honoring, it's a holiday that focuses on death and rot and getting rid of things that is the end of the year. We're going to have the new year after that, and what needs to die, what things are naturally dying off in our life, what things do we need to let go of in our life. So it's kind of a very time to get quiet. It's a time that we're getting ready to go into hibernation. Also, this is the end of October. So, we're looking at what we need to release, what we need to get rid of, but it's also, like I said, if you think of the Day of the Dead, it's a time to honor anyone who has passed over that year, any of our ancestors, maybe even ones that we don't know that we want to connect with, but it's a very quiet time, it's a very serious time. So, these holidays flow, like I said, there's 8 of them a year, one flows into the other, and we start with Imbolc, and then we end with Samhain, and then when we get to Yule, which is Christmas time, the solar god for us, the solar god is born, and now every day is going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter until we hit this portion, until we hit midsummer. Now, every day from here on out is going to be a little bit less light, a little bit less light, a little bit less light. So a lot of it has to do, you're looking at the equinoxes are in there, you're looking at the solstices are in there with them. So it's just a lovely cycle, and the themes that go with them, and working with the goddess and the god both, and it's just, to me, it's so important. It's just the way I live my life, So I don't know if that makes sense.
So how do moon cycles figure into it?
That's actually a class that's coming up this summer that I'm doing, so that's a whole nother thing. So we work with, on this path we work with the wheel of the year, we work with the elements, and we do work with the moon cycle. So that's a lot to talk about, but you could look at the new moon, and you could look at, these days are what we call Sabbats. The new moon and the full moon are called Esbats. They're minor holidays, is what that means.
Yeah.
So you can work with the new moon for new beginnings, and then as you're doing that, it's going to be for that cycle. So when we're on the wheel of the year, this is for the whole year. The moon cycles are for a moon cycle. So if you want to start something new, you want to set the intentions for that on a new moon, and
and then for it to come to fruition, then when you get, you know, to your full moon, then you're getting what you want out of it. The first half of the cycle is for creating things until we hit the full moon. Once we hit the full moon's good for a lot of things. It's good for illuminating the truths we can't see. It's a good time to release things. But as we start going back up the other direction with the waning moon, this is a time to let go of things. So to make it simple, first half, creating things. Then we hit the full moon. Second half is going to be about releasing things and resting and reflection and being quiet till we get back up to that new moon. Now, as a tarot reader, and as personally myself, I'm a full moon kind of girl. I don't do a whole lot with the new moon, and the reason for that is because there's no energy there. There's no energy to pull from. It's when the new moon and the void moon right before that, it's black. There's nothing there to work with. When we have full moon energy, there's a ton of energy to work with there and to pull from. That's why it's a great time to divine with cards and do divination, because you've got energy to work with.
I like to teach yoga classes.
On the
with
full moon.
moon.
Yeah. It feels good. But some moons can make you feel wonky too, and that depends on your moon sign. So if you don't know what your moon sign is, it doesn't have to do when the moon is coming around a full moon. It's not about what your sun sign is, it's about what your moon sign is. So I'm a Taurus moon, and so even though I'm a Leo, my Taurus moon is not happy when it's a Leo full moon because it doesn't jive. It's the energy, you know, it doesn't feel good. So full moons can be powerful, but they can also be difficult. How many times have you said to yourself, maybe like, oh my gosh, is it a full moon? Because it's the crazies are out, everything's going crazy.
Yeah.
It's because that energy, it's because we have, the moon works with also like the tides and things like that,
Yes.
and our body is made up of, I can't tell you the percentage of
Much of
water,
water.
but when the moon comes out, it's pulling on all of that within us. So depending on what your moon sign is, that's a good thing to know. That's how it's going to affect how you're doing with that moon. If it's going to be a good moon or
I'm a
difficult.
Pisces sun and a Pisces moon with a Libra rising.
Oh wow.
So how do you
A lot of
find out?
emotions.
Because like you
Okay.
just said your birth sign, but then how do you
Right.
find your
So there's
moon?
a lot of free apps that do that. I
Okay.
like Cafe Astrology. I like AstroSeek. It's got the moon calculator, and you just type. You have to know what time you were born and the city you were born in.
Okay.
If you don't know that, you can put in like noon. Midnight. Yeah. Noon, I thought it was noon, but it'll tell you that on there. Put in a noon on
You
there.
can find
and-
out on your
yeah.
birth certificate, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
I thought the time was on there. The new birth
Yeah.
certificates are
I
nothing
know,
on
they're
it.
so
The
boring.
new ones they don't put on there anymore.
No.
No, they're very
okay.
boring.
It looks like a certificate.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, like a achievement
I was like, wait a
certificate.
minute,
Oh,
where's
wow.
the where's
Yeah,
the
it's
stuff?
not fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
So yeah, that's a class that's going to be coming up this summer, and I can't tell. I think it's July, isn't it?
Yes,
that
I don't
class
know
is
sure.
called again, what?
Working with the moon. So it's going to be some of the things I just talked about, but more in detail. Other things we can do.
That's why I have a tissue on my
We talk about some of the moon deities, some of the moon goddesses that you can work with in that class. So, but yeah, it's another one of the aspects that we work with our wheel, moon cycles, and we work with the elements as well. So all of those things together. But I guess I'm just extra about the Wheel of the Year. So it's my favorite thing.